Jesus went from there to the area around Tyre. He did not want the people in that area to know he was there. So he went into a house, but he could not stay hidden. A woman heard that he was there. Her little daughter had an evil spirit inside her. So the woman came down to Jesus and bowed down near his feet. She was not a Jew. She was born in Phoenicia, an area in Syria. She begged Jesus to force the demon out of her daughter. Jesus told the woman, "It is not right to take the children's bread and give it to the dogs. First, let the children eat all they want." She answered, "That is true, Lord, but the dogs under the table can eat the pieces of food that the children don't eat." Then he told her, "That is a very good answer. You may go. The demon has left your daughter." The woman went home and found her daughter lying on the bed. The demon was gone. Jesus went from there to the area of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman from that area came out and began shouting, "Lord, Son of David, please help me! My daughter has a demon inside her, and she is suffering very much." But Jesus did not answer her. So the followers came to him and said, "Tell her to go away. She keeps crying out and will not leave us alone." Jesus answered, "God sent me only to the lost people of Israel." Then the woman came over to Jesus and bowed before him. She said, "Lord, help me!" He answered her with this saying, "It is not right to take the children's bread and give it to the dogs." The woman said, "Yes, Lord, but even the dogs eat the pieces of food that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered, "Woman, you have great faith. You will get what you ask for." And right then the woman's daughter was healed. Then Jesus left that area around Tyre and went through Sidon. On his way to Lake Galilee, he went through the area of the 10 towns. While he was there, some people brought a man to him who was deaf and could not talk clearly. The people begged Jesus to put his hand on the man to heal him. Jesus led the man away from the people to be alone with him. He put his fingers in the man's ears. Then he spit on a finger and put it on the man's tongue. Jesus looked up to the sky, and with a loud sigh he said, "Ephphatha." This means open. As soon as Jesus did this, the man was able to hear. He was able to use his tongue, and he began to speak clearly. Jesus told the people not to tell anyone about this, but the more he told them not to say anything, the more people they told. They were all completely amazed. They said, "Look at what he has done. It's all good. He makes deaf people able to hear and gives a new voice to people who could not talk." Then Jesus went from there to the shore of Lake Galilee. He went up on a hill and sat down. A large crowd of people came to him. They brought many other sick people and put them before him. There were people who could not walk, people who were blind, crippled, or deaf, and many others. Jesus healed them all. People were amazed when they saw that those who could not speak were now able to speak. Crippled people were made strong. Those who could not walk were now able to walk. The blind were able to see. Everyone thanked the God of Israel for this. Another time, there were many people with Jesus. The people had nothing to eat. So he called his followers to him and said, "I feel sorry for these people. They have been with me for 3 days, and now they have nothing to eat. I should not send them home hungry. If they leave without eating, they will faint on the way home. Some of them live a long way from here." Jesus' followers answered, "But we are far away from any towns. Where can we get enough bread to feed all these people?" Then Jesus asked them, "How many loaves of bread do you have?" They answered, "We have 7 loaves of bread." Jesus told the people to sit on the ground. Then he took the 7 loaves and gave thanks to God. He broke the bread into pieces and gave them to his followers. He told them to give the bread to the people, and they did as he said. The followers also had a few small fish. Jesus gave thanks for the fish and told them to give the fish to the people. They all ate until they were full. Then the followers filled 7 baskets with the pieces of food that were left. There were about 4,000 men who ate. After they ate, Jesus told them to go home. Then he went in a boat with his followers to the area of Dalmanutha. Jesus called his followers to him and said, "I feel sorry for these people. They have been with me 3 days, and now they have nothing to eat. I don't want to send them away hungry. They might faint while going home." The followers asked Jesus, "Where can we get enough bread to feed all these people? We are a long way from any town." Jesus asked, "How many loaves of bread do you have?" They answered, "We have 7 loaves of bread and a few small fish." Jesus told the people to sit on the ground. He took the 7 loaves of bread and the fish. Then he gave thanks to God for the food. He broke the bread into pieces, which he gave to the followers, and they gave the food to the people. All the people ate until they were full. After this, the followers filled 7 baskets with the pieces of food that were not eaten. There were about 4,000 men there who ate. There were also some women and children. After they all ate, Jesus told the people they could go home. He got into the boat and went to the area of Magadan. The Pharisees and Sadducees came to Jesus. They wanted to test him, so they asked him to show them a miracle as a sign from God. Jesus answered, "When you people see the sunset, you know what the weather will be. If the sky is red, you say we will have good weather. And in the morning, if the sky is dark and red, you say that it will be a rainy day. These are signs of the weather. You see these signs in the sky and know what they mean. In the same way, you see the things that are happening now. These are also signs, but you don't know their meaning. It is the evil and sinful people who want to see a miracle as a sign from God, but no miracle will be done to prove anything to them. The only sign will be the miracle that happened to Jonah." Then Jesus went away from there. The Pharisees came to Jesus and asked him questions. They wanted to test him, so they asked him to do a miracle as a sign from God. Jesus sighed deeply and said, "Why do you people ask to see a miracle as a sign? I want you to know that no miracle will be done to prove anything to you." Then Jesus left them and went in the boat to the other side of the lake. The followers had only 1 loaf of bread with them in the boat. They forgot to bring more bread. Jesus warned them, "Be careful. Guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and the yeast of Herod." The followers discussed the meaning of this. They said, "He said this because we have no bread." Jesus knew that the followers were talking about this. So he asked them, "Why are you talking about having no bread? Do you still not see or understand? Are you not able to understand? Do you have eyes that can't see? Do you have ears that can't hear? Remember what I did before when we did not have enough bread? I divided 5 loaves of bread for 5,000 people. Remember how many baskets you filled with the pieces of food that were not eaten?" The followers answered, "We filled 12 baskets. And when I divided 7 loaves of bread for 4,000 people, how many baskets did you fill with the leftover pieces?" They answered, "We filled 7 baskets." Then he said to them, "You remember these things I did, but you still don't understand." Jesus and his followers went across the lake, but the followers forgot to bring bread. Jesus said to the followers, "Be careful. Guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and the Sadducees." The followers discussed the meaning of this. They said, "Did Jesus say this because we forgot to bring bread?" Jesus knew that they were talking about this. So he asked them, "Why are you talking about not having bread? Your faith is small. Do you still not understand? Remember the 5 loaves of bread that fed 5,000 people, and the many baskets you filled with the bread that was left? And remember the 7 loaves of bread that fed the 4,000 people, and the many baskets you filled that time? So how could you think that I'm concerned about bread? I'm telling you to be careful and guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and the Sadducees." Then the followers understood what Jesus meant. He was not telling them to guard against the yeast used in bread. He was telling them to guard against the teaching of the Pharisees and the Sadducees.